So it's been a couple hours since we last spoke, and I've pretty much done a lot of cleanup. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Sorry, got a little distracted there. It's getting windy outside, and it seems like I have one of the plastics over the windows is moving. Several of them are actually. I don't like that. If wind can get in, water can get in. That's a bad sign. I'll have to look into that later. Okay, so this area is all cleaned up now. It's pretty much all back there. It's in boxes, it's cleaned up. I've done quite a bit of work. I was preparing for building the walls. That took a little bit of time trying to determine where the walls went. I had to figure out exactly where I could put this first, let's call it entrance closet. You walk into the door, there's going to be a closet right behind the driver's seat. The electrical will be right here. Then there's a couple of extra feet of space so you can have a closet to hang clothes and stuff like that. Then there's going to be a bench, a table and a bench. Then I determined right over here somewhere, right there, that's where the wall is going to be for the bathroom. That's the other wall for the bathroom, and that's a wall for the closet, right where the drill is sitting. Sorry, not closet, but shower. So this small little 18-inch space here, from here to here, is going to be for a pantry slash closet slash food storage, whatever. So you're probably wondering how I figured out where I'm going to put this. So how am I going to have everything all square? That's thanks to this thing. It was a 4-foot tall drywall T-square. But I'll show you what it looked like before. That's what it looked like. So I cut this piece off. Garbage. So I figured out where the wall was supposed to go. Set up my nice 4-foot square right there. Right on the line to... Can you see that? And there it is. Right on that line to where the wall is supposed to be. I gave the 4-foot square an extra piece. Another 4-foot straight edge. See? 4-foot straight edge. I clamped them together so this would become more like a 6-foot straight edge. So I put the T-square on the line down there. Then that's how I got my mark up here. I did that to all the walls. So this wall here runs in between this cavity. So I took some of my 1x2s and I cut them to width for in between the cavities. Some might need a little trim, some just might need to be rearranged a little bit. But this is where I'm going to be putting some. I'm going to put one there, there, all the way through. Now instead of trying to toenail screws into place, what I have is this setup. It's the Craig pocket hole kit. I'll get that. Hopefully you can see all this stuff. Might be a little too bright. You'll see dimensions on this side and this side. You take the drill bit, shove it all the way up to its point here. You adjust with this, You take this drill bit and you shove it all the way up to its point here. You take this Allen wrench and you adjust it for these measurements that are here. These numbers indicate the thickness of the wood you're screwing into. So this really isn't 1x2. It's more like 1.5 by 3/4. Sometimes it's 5/8, depending where you get your material from and how it's machined. So this is 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. So I set the gauge to 5/8, as you can see right there. So I'll put that on the drill. So that's what it looks like when it's on the drill. I did leave one piece. Now this piece, it too has dimensions over here. I'll flip that up. You can see that? There we go. It too has dimensions over here. This is for the thickness, I believe, this is for the thickness of the wood you're screwing into. That's the way I have it set for. I always adjust, I always have the drill bit setting the same on this thing. Or let me rephrase that. I have this setting the same as the drill bit setting. So what you do, I just use a standard clamp. You clamp it into place. Get a little bit more comfortable. Ouch. Take your drill. Just making sure you can see all this. Take that apart, and one hole. So you take your drill with the bit on it, with a screw, and you can screw it right into there. And as you can see, there's a small, there's a small little indentation right in the center of the wood. That's what you want. Sometimes you might go a little too deep, and it will cause problems. If you put your screw in too deep, it'll just bust through. So sometimes you might have to do a little bit of micro adjustments on this bit, just to make sure you don't poke the bit too far through. See here on the second one, drilled through, but the bit didn't come through, but that's okay. That is still okay. So that was the last one I had to do like that. So I'll set you up and I'll quickly put these pieces in place. Well, I had to trim some more insulation off the walls. It was in the way of the wood going across here. I have that trimmed out. Now I'll start with screwing them in place. Alright, back to work. My brother came by for a few minutes just to bug me, as he usually does. apparently I didn't make enough of these cross members. So I just have to cut one more here, and I'll put it in place. And that's it for now. Sorry, I was just thinking what I'm doing next. So I'm going to use my square, set it up here, so I can draw a line for the wall. And I'm going to have to do the same thing on that wall and that wall. So give me a few minutes, I'll get the square set up properly. I'll adjust your viewing a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. And keep going. Be back in a minute. Well, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I do have you set to 10mm, I think this lens does, for its widest angle. So you might not be able to see exactly everything that I'm doing. Hopefully you can. But over here, there is a wall line. Over here, there is another one. And over here, there is a third one. Yeah. So my intentions are, I adjusted this, the height of this contraption. I'm going to put this right on the corner of the wall line here. Can you even see that? You know what? Phones, handy things. Oh, close. So here we go. You can see that I'm on the corner of that wall line. So up here, oh, this is not easy to do. I need a third hand. So down here, so as you can see, I'm on the corner of the wall line. I'm going to step on this edge of the T-square to keep it level-ish, as best as I can. I'm going to put the square up against this cross member, give it a mark. Oh, I need a third hand. Not easy to do. A third hand or a second person? So then I'll just give an explanation, since this isn't working out with just one person. I put a line there for the wall mark, I'm going to lean it over here, put another mark. I'll adjust the square on the floor a little bit, like that, away from this back wall. Sorry, away from that corner mark, so I can mark this spot here. I'm going to do that for all 3 walls. Then I'll take this contraption apart, and then I'll square up from the base of the wall there all the way to these other marks. So let me get to that. We'll put you back to that camera over there, and you can continue watching me make the marks. So we're back. You saw how I was going to do it with the other camera, so now let me just get some measurements first, cut them to size, then we'll continue building the walls. So I have some of the framing cut for this one wall. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. I actually have to cut a piece for the base, naturally, cut a piece up to here, then from here to here, here to here, here to here. Lots of fun. So I got the pieces all cut up. Now let's see if it works. I don't know how well you can see it from over there, but I had to give this one a slight angle cut on both ends just so it would create no gap here. What I'm probably going to end up doing is using the Craig tool and putting a screw down this way and a screw up this way so they can join up together. For now, I'm just going to try toe-nailing a screw just to hold it in place. So yeah, doesn't look half bad. Doesn't look half good, but doesn't look half bad. I'm just gonna have to get the square to get that back wall proper, because I think this little one here isn't quite in the proper place. And also I'm gonna put the Craig tool on this one. Sounds like a plan. doesn't look that bad. I just might Craig tool them all together. Then when I go to put the studs in place, like the verticals, I'll definitely Craig tool those as well. Yes, I love that Craig tool. So I'll get the measurements I need for the studs. I'll Craig tool everything, then we'll screw it all together permanently. So give me a few minutes and I'll get this together. So really quickly, I just want to show you something. I adjusted the Craig tool drill to its maximum setting of 1.5 inches because I'm using 2 by 2s, which is 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I set the pocket hole to 1 3/8 inches. I set it to 1 3/8 inches. So this is what it looks like on that one little piece that goes up into the corner there. Using it, I believe these are 2-inch screws, maybe 2.5. That's where it comes out, perfect middle. Then when I go to screw it into the other pieces of wood, it'll be right in the middle of the wood. I just thought I'd share that with you so you could see what it was like. Before I cut all the pieces to length, I'm going to show you how I determined where the pieces will go. I'm going to mark 16 inches off the wall here. The other one is going to be 32, which is going to be a pain in the butt. So 26 inches there, so another 6 inches down here. To determine the height, to determine the location of the stud for the top here, since it's angled. Let me just shut off the furnace. Remove the fuse. I'm going to take my little handy dandy 4-foot level here with its fancy extender piece. Put it at the 16 mark. Clamp it in place. Then mark where the 16 goes. And I'll do the same thing on this side. And that's my 16. That's simple. Then I'll take the measurements for those studs. I'll give this the slight little angle cut it deserves, this one that it deserves. The simple way is just to cut that stud long, then just scribe where it's supposed to go. In fact, let's do that together. So really quickly, I'll grab this stud at 54 inches. Nah, let's say 55 inches. So these marks are center of stud. Go like that. Go like that. Perfect height and perfect angle. just like that. So I'll make the other 2 studs, because I need one at the 32, then one at the end of the wall. I'll do the same thing. I'll use the crank tool, then I'll screw it all together. So just give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. All the pieces are measured and ready to go, so let's put this together. What I'm doing is actually using the drill bit here as a countersink point. So this way I can screw into the wood and not split the wood because of the bugle head on the screw. I'm assuming you can hear that train. That one, it's about 2 kilometers away, maybe a little bit more, so that's more than a mile away. It sounds like it's just down the street. Yeah, I have to adjust that bottom a little bit. The stud actually moved out on me, but this will work just right. As square as anything can get in a bus. One wall. 2 more to go. Ooh, got up a little too fast. So, the primary reason for this wall, the shower is right here. I'm thinking this is going to be my plumbing wall. And I'm thinking this is going to be in the way of that plumbing wall. I might have to adjust that a little bit. Sorry, just thinking, because if I have that as a plumbing wall, do I need a wall here? This is one bathroom wall, but if I'm putting a cabinet, if I'm putting a cabinet here, that could technically be the wall of the cabinet. Gives me an extra 1.5 inch room into the bathroom. Something to consider. I have to consider quickly. Well, I can build that other wall. I'll have to adjust the camera so you can watch, but I'll do the same thing. I'll cut everything for the wall first, then I'll turn on the camera and we'll screw it into place. See you shortly. So I have the pieces cut for the framing. Let's put them in place. The only ones I don't have are the verticals. This is wobbly, but that's okay. Once I get this stud in place, it'll be fine. Wall's completed. So I'll shut you off again. I'll do a little bit more cleanup. Then I'll debate about doing that front console area. It is 10 to 4. I've been here for 7 hours. Almost. So clean up. What did I do today? I cleaned up, I did the ductwork, and I built these 2 walls in 7 hours. Possibly a 3rd wall. I'm debating on that one all of a sudden. If I can save 1.5 inches in a bus, that's a lot of space. I'll have to think about that. But for now, that's it. So maybe see you later, maybe not. Talk to you shortly. After much deliberation, I still haven't gotten to this. I was thinking I'd have time to, but I didn't. Because I did the 3rd wall. I figured I might need it just in case. Because right here is the toilet, right here is the sink. So if I want to mount a medicine cabinet or something, I need something to mount it on. I will not be putting any form of plywood on this side or this side. Ooh. If I do, I just do it as a built-in cabinet. I don't have to build a cabinet then put it in. Oh yes! Oh yes! That works great! So yeah, I just have to plywood the inside. Then I can put shelvings or racks or whatever I want into this closet area. Perfect! I like it! I might actually do that right away. So this way, all that crap can go in here. I'm really liking this idea now. But do I really want to make that a temporary closet? Because I'd have to rip it apart, then put it together the way I want it. If I build it the way I want it, the shelving could be too small for the tools and stuff. Decisions. Yeah, and I didn't clean up either. Not yet. I might do that tomorrow. I might take tomorrow off. Who knows? All I know is that it's 4:40 and I should get home. I haven't had lunch yet. I only had breakfast at about... When did I have breakfast? 8 a.m. Haven't had lunch. I did have 3 granola bars. So yeah, I think I might call it quits now. This is starting to look like something now. Slowly but surely, it's starting to look like something. Now the only thing is, it's 10 days to Christmas. Our winter is starting, because shortly we're gonna have some pretty drastically cold weather. It's typical here. What to do? I can't work under the bus for the holding tanks. First I have to get the holding tanks. And it would be too cold to work under the bus. I'm gonna have to think about what I'm doing next. Electrical. I have to work on the electrical. Electrical is definitely next. So, stay tuned. See what happens. Talk to you next time.